don't go near that scene. They don't want anybody there that could interfere with the investigation or with helping people out there.
Sarah, I'm just curious, are you able to see the identification on any of the emergency vehicles, and has there been a response from any other jurisdictions? I know you're far away, but I'm just wondering if you saw
So right now, right, yeah, absolutely. Right now, our understanding is most of the response came from Chesapeake, but we were told there was a state trooper vehicle out here, so that might tell us more. Outside agencies are on their way to assist. Some might already be there, but again, like you said, we are pretty far away. It's hard to see a lot of what the markings are on these cars at this point, but the response was mostly Chesapeake.
Right. We get that you're far away. We're just curious if by chance you saw vehicles coming from Virginia Beach or Norfolk or Portsmouth or wherever.
I can imagine
Suffolk,
mutual aid would start to kick in here. But we also have reported, there's no secret that we have a shortage of officers in a lot of cities and first responders. So this is quite a busy night. And now we have a map up here where you can kind of get a better perspective of where we're talking about. This is it's just a very busy area there in Chesapeake. You know, teetering on Greenbrier. It's off of North Battlefield Boulevard. This is at the Walmart on Sam's Circle off of Battlefield Boulevard. And the call came in for the shooting just after 10 o'clock tonight. Multiple people are dead. Police believe the shooter is also dead. Police say there are less than 10 fatalities. Sarah just told us there was a body outside of the store. We don't have all the details right now. We are working to learn more.
And clearly they'll be on the scene for a long, long time, well into the morning, obviously, at least, trying to figure out what they have here and hopefully be able to give us an update at some point so that we can give that information to you. But again, you see across your screen there, the police have told us that multiple people have been killed in a shooting at this Walmart shortly after 10 o'clock tonight. And again, as Nicole has mentioned, I think this is important to mention again that the reunification center that's been set up at the Chesapeake Conference Center.
That's right. That's right. It's about, as I look, it's about 7 miles away.
Right.
Off of Greenbrier Parkway. I'm looking at this map here on my phone. So that, yeah, from Sam's Circle where this is. And again, we mentioned we're 2 days away from Thanksgiving.
Right.
For many people, today was the last day of school, last day of work, a time to get back together with their families, a time to get out and shop and start preparing for their family gatherings. So this is something else. And of course, this is days after we've reported on a shooting in Colorado Springs, and then the shooting on the grounds of University of Virginia.
Yeah. It's tough. We understand that our Angelique Garantok has found someone to talk to out there who might give us a better perspective of what happened. She's doing that right now, so stand by as we reconnect with her whenever she can give us some more information. So stay with us for that as we continue to work this story from a distance, but yet we're working all of our sources to be able to give you the latest information. It's just at this point we're waiting as you are waiting, and we appreciate you trusting us and waiting with us.
It is important to let you know we are working every angle of this. We have a team in the newsroom. Our Daybreak team has been in the building now. They're making calls, they are making emails, they are listening to scanners, they are following social media to try to get an idea of exactly what's going on here. But you see the large presence of first responders there at that Walmart in Sam's Circle. It's just quite a mess tonight. Yeah,
it really is. We're going to reconnect with Angelique Garantok in a minute here to see what else that she can give us from her perspective in talking with people out there. And we also understand that we're going to get some information here shortly from the Chesapeake Police Department. We have no idea what that will be, but we are working to get that, and we hope to have that and bring that to you just as quickly as we do get it. All right, let's bring Sarah Hammond back into this. Sarah, what more can you tell us?
Guys, like we keep saying, it is a very, very fluid situation. Information is still coming in. We're waiting on another update from Chesapeake Police, but I do think it's important to reiterate that they do not believe there is an ongoing threat at this time. They do believe it was just one shooter, and they do believe that person is dead at this point. So they are saying they do not believe there is an ongoing threat to the community. But again, this whole area is blocked off. Do not try to come to this Walmart if you think you have a friend or a loved one here. Go to the Chesapeake Convention Center to reunite with them. And just a little while ago, we spoke with a spokesperson from the Chesapeake Police Department who told us about next steps in this investigation this morning.
Right now, it's an open crime scene. It's an active investigation. We have officers inside, detectives responding. We're still combing through the building to look for more victims, both injured or deceased. And we're just kind of providing that care at this point before we turn it completely over to the criminal investigation section. At that point, it becomes just a full-fledged, essentially a homicide investigation.
Again, like we keep saying, there are multiple fatalities, multiple injuries. They say they believe there are less than 10 fatalities at this point. But again, like you just heard, they are in there continuing to sweep the store to find any other victims if there are any.
Sarah, thank you for that update. That gives us a little bit better, Nicole, perspective on what is going on. But they are searching inside that Walmart as well for people who could be wounded.
Yeah, and I'm just getting a text from someone who I know who says that she had just left that Walmart less than 40 minutes before this happened, had gone to Dollar Tree next door to it, was driving home, literally had to pull over to let the first police car go by the scene. In less than a minute, I counted 16 police cars, 2 fire trucks, and as of now, there are about 40 police cars on the scene, and she's just praising God for saving her. This is something else here in Chesapeake.
That reunification center is the Chesapeake Conference Center. So if you are looking for a loved one, that's the point that police are saying that's where you go. So it's the Chesapeake Conference Center. As you said, it's only about 6 or 7 miles from this actual scene, but it's the conference center. Let's bring Angelique Arentalk back into the discussion. And Angelique, we understand you just talked with someone, hopefully can provide us with a little more information.
Right. So what we're seeing from this vantage point, so we're closer to the intersection with Battlefield Boulevard, we're seeing at least, or moments ago, we saw at least one police cruiser actually pull up here with a couple Walmart employees. So they were inside the store at the time of the shooting because they needed to get to some cars around here. I spoke with a couple employees inside that car who tell me, I could tell they were still in shock, they were nervous, and of course, most importantly, perhaps they were just sad. They said to me that they knew the shooter very, very well. And according to police who have said this throughout the evening, that they believe the single shooter in this instance is dead and that there are multiple fatalities or injuries from inside the store. The employees inside the car, a couple of them in there, told me that they just had to resort to hiding in the bathroom, and they heard those gunshots ring out just after 10 o'clock this evening inside a store that was still open at the time. So just giving you a look at what the scene looks like right now from where we are standing, still a very much active first responder scene here with fire crews, police crews, and police tape up. Again, we're at the intersection closer to Battlefield Boulevard, so not a lot of onlookers at this point, but this is a very much closely watched scene when you talk about people trying to keep up with the latest about this incident.
Angelique, let's clarify here. You said you talked to some folks who they say they work in the store and they knew the shooter. Did they mention if the shooter works there?
Yes. No, they did not say. So yes, I did speak with a couple of people who work inside the store. All they would tell me is that they knew the shooter very, very well, and that is all. And according to police, of course, they say that the single suspected shooter in this case is dead.
And we know it is a superstore. It's huge. You have an area with groceries, you have an area with the department store. Did they give you any idea what area of the store?
So not the section of the store. From what I can recall in our conversation, they did say they had to hide in the bathroom. So I'm not sure where the bathroom is or if there are multiple bathrooms at this superstore.
But you say they were definitely very much shaken up by what had happened.
Yeah, at first I believe that they couldn't even get out some words when I first came up to the car. I think they're understandably shaken up at this point and just sad. As you two mentioned, this is days before Thanksgiving, as people were trying to go into the store to get things for their Thanksgiving meal. Of course, this is so terribly sad, happening days before that holiday.
Yeah, one can only imagine. Angelique, thank you for that update, and we'll let you continue to work this story for us, and you just let us know if you have any new information.
And we are hearing, yes, that we will get some more information, get an update from police in about 20 minutes on this shooting, mass shooting, at the Walmart on Sam Circle off of North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake tonight.
The picture that we are getting from inside that store is bad.
I can't imagine it. Just cannot imagine. If, like we said, you just run out, you want to get something at the last minute. We know these days people use shoppers, and Walmart does have delivery, and sometimes they deliver late and they pick up late because they have groceries and they have other items, with the department store. So it could have been very, very busy inside that superstore at 10 after 10.
Absolutely, yeah. Sarah in the booth, you're telling me we have more information about the reunification center.
Okay, so there now you can see the distance between the shooting and the reunification center. As we mentioned, that Walmart is off of North Battlefield Boulevard. The reunification center is off of Greenbrier Parkway. And you see, I think that's Greenbrier Circle there. I've been there because there are a few things. There's a hotel. So it's the Chesapeake Conference Center there, which is being used as the family reunification area where police are asking folks to go if you are trying to reach a loved one whom you believe was there and possibly working there at the store.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of people right now that are desperately trying to connect, and we'll give you the best information that we're getting as to how to do that. But it is the Chesapeake Conference Center, whether you're looking for someone or that's the best information that we're getting at this particular point. Again, just to recap, if you're joining us as we do this, keep in mind we're waiting probably less than 20 minutes now. That's what we're told from an update. But this happened just after 10 o'clock at the Walmart on Sam Circle, which is off of Battlefield Boulevard. Again, we're told that multiple people have been killed. We know there's some injuries as well. We know that it's both inside the store and we believe outside the store as well. Angelique was saying that she talked with 2 Walmart employees and they know who the shooter is and that the shooter is dead. We do not know any other information except that those Walmart employees told Angelique that they know who the shooter was. And at this particular point, we'll just have to continue to work and wait to get more information on that.
And I'm looking back at the message that one of my friends, Terry, she said she had just left that Walmart less than 40 minutes before this happened and had gone to Dollar Tree next door, was driving home, literally had to pull over to let the first police car go by. And then in less than a minute, she said she counted 16 police cars, 2 fire trucks, and then said it built up to be about 40 police cars. So this is, again, it's a busy area. Even if you don't live in Chesapeake, it's right off of the highway there. You take the Battlefield exit, so it would make sense that people would come from other areas. So it's this time of the week, this time of the year.
This day, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and our crews are being kept a little bit of a distance from all of that. And in our live shots, you can see all of the emergency vehicles behind them. Sarah Hammond did report that she did see at least one state police car. There could be more than that there, and she didn't see any other emergency vehicles from any other jurisdictions, but that could be possible as well.
Right, we know Norfolk and Virginia Beach are not far from the city lines with Chesapeake, so we can only imagine if there's some mutual aid there tonight, even with the EMS crews. And
for sure,
Sarah, are you available for us to go back to you now? Do you have an update?
Absolutely, yes. And I do have a little bit of an update. We are hearing we should be getting an update from Chesapeake Police in about 20 minutes. And they have just tweeted We've seen that they can confirm, like we know, an active shooter incident with fatalities at the Walmart on Sam's Circle. They say now the shooter is deceased, and they're saying the first responders here are well trained and prepared to respond. So please give them space to do so, which again brings us back to the reunification center at the Chesapeake Convention Center. So again, if you think someone you know, friend, family member, was inside this Walmart when the shots started to ring out, do not come to this Walmart. Again, give the first responders space to do their job. They are still going inside. They're still scanning the area as of, our last update. So give them space to do so. So please, if you need to, go to that Chesapeake Convention Center as a reunification point. And we're again gonna let you guys kind of look behind us at just how big this scene still is. We keep seeing more vehicles coming into this area. It just keeps getting more and more crowded, it seems, every time I turn around. Again, we are so far back, I can't make out any other specific logos on the cars besides Chesapeake, fire, police, EMS. But they did say earlier there was a state trooper vehicle in here, so that does give me some indication that there are other agencies either here or on their way. I just can't see them from where we are. We're stationed at the Carl's Wash across the way, across Sam's Circle, where the Walmart's pretty far behind us. But again, it's all blocked off. They're still investigating. Like I keep saying, give them space to do so for now.
Sarah, can you see any emergency vehicles, ambulances, for instance, speeding away from that scene? Or are you still too far to be able to pick that out?
I have not, since we've been here, I have not seen any speed out. But again, we got here right around, I would say, 11 o'clock. So they had a good 45 minutes between when that call initially came in to when we got here. So that might have happened with those initial injuries and fatalities that we learned about. That might have happened earlier before we got here. I do hear some more sirens actually now behind me coming. It sounds like on the interstate, likely coming to this area. Unclear, I can't see beyond the trees, but unclear what agency that might be.
Right.
And just to put this in perspective geographically again, North Battlefield Boulevard, where this Walmart sits off of Sam's Circle, there's a fire department not far away on Battlefield. And if you go down further, Chesapeake General Hospital is there. Now, we're talking trauma if we're talking about gunshots, and we know Centera Norfolk General has the trauma center, but just to give you an idea of the distance, and even from there, that would be about a 15, 17-minute drive probably from Sam's Circle to Centera Norfolk General Hospital.
And if Nightingale was used, we always almost hear them
We do.
flying over our station. We have not heard that at this particular point. That's just a little added.
And just to reiterate, Sarah, police have confirmed that the gunman is dead in this shooting here.
Yes, correct. In their latest tweet that came out just a few minutes ago, they say the shooter is deceased. Initially, they were saying they believed the shooter was deceased, and that last update said they believe it was just one shooter that was involved, but now in this tweet they are confirming the shooter is deceased. So there is, I think it's safe to say, no ongoing threat to the community. That's what they indicated to us earlier. So it seems with this latest update that is likely the case.
All right, and the police officer that you were talking to a little bit earlier, Sarah, said that the process now is to go through the store and assess the injured and account for all of those who have been killed. But there was a sense that they were also making sure that there was nothing else of danger in that store. We're going to bring Evan Stewart into the conversation because this is, Evan is born and raised in Chesapeake and knows this area well.
Yeah, and Nicole and I, I still live close by, and Nicole, you did too. Yes, we've been neighbors. And this is a very busy area. It's Volvo Parkway and Battlefield Boulevard, one of the busiest intersections in the city. And as you mentioned earlier, it's not too far from Chesapeake General Hospital, but there are a lot of stores there, a lot of restaurants. I don't know how many are open, past 10, 11 o'clock. There are probably a couple there in that strip mall that are close by. And again, this is a very, very busy area in the city of Chesapeake. Just on the other side, you have a big Kroger over there, or big shopping center over there just across 64.
Do I need to like
right there on
introduce that or
Battlefield
anything?
Boulevard? So again, a very, very busy area of the city, not far from Greenbrier. It's right there.
That's right. You
Just,
could cut over to get to Greenbrier, and the reunification center you see on the map. You could take either Battlefield, hop back on the highway, and then take the Greenbrier exit, or take Volvo, right? Is that what cuts over to get to that?
Yes, yeah, Volvo's the one that cuts through. You have the headquarters of Dollar Tree right there.
Dollar Tree, that's right.
Volvo Penta, is that still over there?
Yeah, Volvo Penta is over there.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just a very, very busy area in the city of Chesapeake. You mentioned the fire department is right there by B.M. Williams Elementary School.
Right.
You have a big fire station in Greenbrier that's over there as well. Not too far away, you just head up Volvo Parkway and cross Greenbrier, and there's another fire department there as well. So I'm sure the paramedics and the EMTs got there as quickly as they could as well.
And Chesapeake General Hospital is not far from there either on Battlefield Boulevard.
And I did pull up the helipad just to check Nightingale is there.
Okay.
Still, so,
Okay.
but we will keep an eye on that as well.
And we were just seeing that map there we've put up from time to time as we've been talking about the reunification center. That is the Chesapeake Conference Center, which is about 6-7 miles from the actual Walmart.
That's right. It's one exit away off of Interstate 64, right there on the other side of Greenbrier. And, I imagine there are probably a lot of maybe Oscar Smith students or Indian River students that, could work there. They probably, work there. And
again, the stocking happens later at night.
That's right.
When I would go shopping after work, which would be around 11 something, I would see the folks stocking the shelves there. So it's, who knows how many people could be in that store at the time.
And it is just it is a very, very busy Walmart, all hours of the day and night.
Yeah. We're going to bring Sarah Hammond back into the conversation. And Sarah, you have some new information for us.
Yeah, absolutely. About at 11:30 when we first arrived, we spoke to Officer Leo Kaczynski with the Chesapeake Police Department. Right now, we're going to take you guys to that full interview with all of the information we have at this point. But again, at that time, they said they believed the shooter is dead. We have now confirmed that the shooter is in fact dead. Take a listen.
It's very limited information at this point. So at 10:12 p.m., our emergency dispatch center received a call for a shooting that occurred here at the Walmart here on Sam Circle. I apologize.
No worries.
So we respond initially. We found, as soon as we get here, we find basic evidence that a shooting had occurred, what was actively going on. So we responded in an active shooter fashion. We're trained for that. It falls within our area of what we do. So we go inside, and long story short, over the course of the next 30-45 minutes, we were able to find multiple fatalities and multiple injured parties. With the Chesapeake Fire Department, we were able to put rescue and tactical teams together to go inside to provide life-saving measures. And then through the course of the investigation, we believe it was a single shooter, and we believe that shooter is deceased at this time. Officers are still on scene right now, combing through the building just to be sure, but as of right now, we believe it's only one shooter, and we believe that one shooter is deceased right now. Like I said before, there's multiple fatalities and multiple injuries, so we're just a little over an hour into the incident, and unfortunately, it's very fluid right now, and that's all I have at this time.
You want to say if the shooter is self-inflicted?
We do not know at this time.
Is the shooter an employee?
We do not know at this time.
Were any shots fired by police?
Not to my knowledge. I do not believe so.
So when you guys got here, was it pretty much, over, I guess?
I do not know. I don't know the timeline just yet. I kind of got here quite a bit after the fact that it happened. I believe that the shooting had stopped when we arrived, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So we did treat it as an active threat response, which is within our normal response tactics.
Was it just Chesapeake Police that responded, or did you have help from other agencies?
Initially, it was just Chesapeake Police, but I believe I saw a state trooper vehicle outside earlier that's providing some assistance.
And you probably can't answer this, but when you say multiple fatalities, over 5, any age range? I mean, not age range.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think right now it's less than 10. I think that's a pretty accurate right now.
Did the shootings happen inside the store or outside, or do we know?
I believe what happened inside.
Inside, any employees involved? I think we may have already asked that.
I do not know.
Well, there is at least one deceased outside the building, correct?
Correct. There is one person that's deceased outside right now.
But the shootings happened at least inside, perhaps outside as well.
Could be. I'm not 100% sure. It's still very
What's
new.
your next steps?
Right now, it's just that it's an open crime scene. It's an active investigation. We have officers inside, detectives responding. We're still coming through the building to look for more victims, both injured or deceased. And we're just kind of providing that care at this point before we turn it completely over to the criminal investigation section. At that point, it becomes just a full-fledged, essentially a homicide investigation.
Are you actively looking for anybody right now?
We are still looking for people.
As far as somebody,
we don't believe we believe there was only one shooter, so we're not really looking for another shooter, but we're prepared if there is a second shooter.
Asking,
That's basically what it is. But we're also looking for more victims because people could they could be scared, they could be hiding, they could be injured. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Can you tell us about the initial response, the initial 911 calls? Were they calls of a shooting or injured person? How did that?
Initially, it came in as a call of a shooting. I don't know how many calls came in. I just looked it up on my computer system, which is what kind of our we call it CAD, computer aided dispatch. That's where I got the information was from on there. And the initial call came in, I believe, was around 10:12 p.m.
Are you confident that you've located all the victims?
Not yet. We're still looking.
Still looking for victims.
But you got to remember,
you're
too,
you're not necessarily looking for any kind of additional shooter.
Correct. This is a very large store. It's a super center. I mean, a lot of area, a lot of hiding spots. I don't know how many people were here. So, when the guy comes in, shots ring out, people could get scared. They could be hiding. We want to make sure everybody's accounted for. We want to make sure there's nobody injured that needs medical assistance. That's either conscious or unconscious that needs help. We're trying to, basically, we're trying to make this the building safe and locate all victims is kind of where we're at this point.
This might not be a question you can answer either, but do you guys know yet if the shooter came in with the intent of doing this, or did something happen inside the store? Okay.
We're not sure.
As far as you know, there was only one shooter. Is that correct?
Right now, we believe it's only been one shooter, yes.
Did the shooting happen during store hours?
Say again?
Did the shooting happen during store hours?
I believe the building's open 24/7.
It is? Okay.
I believe it is. Say, ma'am?
Was the shooter employed by Walmart?
I don't know. Not sure. That's part of the investigation. I don't have an exact number right now. We have multiple fatalities and multiple injuries. I don't know. I was telling them I think it's probably less than 10 fatalities right now, but I don't have a hard number. That could change.
Sorry, fatalities.
Yeah, correct, fatalities. I believe there's several fatalities and several injuries.
How many were shot total, including fatalities?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Don't know.
So I want to ask, we've seen a lot of people leaving the parking lot, probably shoppers. Are there exit interviews? Are you canvassing the people who were here? I see a lot of people leaving.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been over here with you guys. I don't really know what's going on there. There's dozens and dozens of officers over there handling that aspect. I really don't know. I can say right now, Family Reunification Center is at the Chesapeake Conference Center. I don't have the address for that right now. If you guys, I believe it's Conference Center Drive. I don't know the exact numeric. I would say if you guys could put out just to probably stay clear of the area right now. Obviously the store's closed right now while we conduct our police investigation. And like I said, the Family Reunification Center for anybody that thinks that they might have had a loved one that shopped here, or hold on. Steve, will you call dispatch and just ensure them that if anybody calls in, they give them my work number, not my personal cell number, please? Sorry about that. My phones are
okay.
So that's a place where family members can go?
If you believe your family member was here, go to the Chesapeake Conference Center. That's where we're the Family Reunification.
Got it.
So again, like you just heard, that full interview of all the details we know right now. Again, do not come to this Walmart. If you think you have a loved one here, go to the Chesapeake Conference Center. That's the Family Reunification Center. And we are just told we're about to move across this retention pond, across this fence. So we're going to head that way. We should be able to get a better view and understanding of what agencies are here once we move closer. So of course we will keep you guys updated once we move and kind of get resituated and get our bearings over there when we can see more.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Just to quickly put this in a little bit of perspective, that interview that you just watched was from about an hour ago. We have been talking about an update from police within maybe 15 minutes or so. That was not it. That was from an hour ago. So that's what we knew an hour ago, and it's very much all that we know at this particular point. But we still are standing by, and stay with us as we wait for that update now, probably in about 15 minutes, although that could shift a little bit.
That's right. And you saw Leo Kaczynski there. He's the Chesapeake Police spokesperson. His phone was ringing throughout that interview, people trying to inquire and get information. And we are working to learn the latest out there. out there in the field at the scene, but also here in our newsroom. We have folks are coming back into work to help us get details on this shooting. But again, we can reiterate what we know, that this is the Walmart Supercenter on Sam Circle off of Battlefield Boulevard, North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. The call for the shooting came in just after 10 p.m. Multiple people are dead, others are injured. Chesapeake Police confirmed that the alleged shooter, is dead also.
Yes, and again, you heard the officer there say that the shooting took place, or at least most of it inside, and that at that particular point, again, that was an hour ago, they were going through the store to see if people may have heard the shots and hidden somewhere in the store. So they were still in the process of doing that an hour ago, and we don't exactly know where that is right now, that process, but we expect again that update to come soon.
That store is so big, and as he said, it's a super center, so you really could find different places you can go. And sadly, I know what that's like to be inside a shopping area when gunfire breaks out. I was inside MacArthur Center during one of those shootings and ran into a dressing room at one of the stores on the second floor there, and you just, the feeling that comes over you, you don't know what to do, but you hear that gunfire and it's like, you don't know how close it is to you, where it is, and you would think a store like that, you just want to shield yourself. And I think Angelique said she spoke to someone who said they were in the bathroom there at the superstore.
Right, and also the day that this is in relation to shopping for Thanksgiving and having people over or going someplace and buying food would have perhaps made that an even busier store tonight than on another night. But again, you say it's very, very large, so it might have a lot of people at 10, 12 on just an ordinary night.
Yeah, let's go back to Angelique. We mentioned that she did speak to some folks as they were leaving, employees of the store. Angelique, can you give us an update now?
Nicole, David, not too many updates on my end because the scene out here is clearing out. I think people are starting to get that memo about the reunification center at Chesapeake Conference Center, less than 10 minutes away from where we are standing. So in relation to Sarah, I am closer to Battlefield Boulevard. So I'm still seeing the heavy police and fire presence, EMS presence out here. But you all referenced earlier, I spoke with a couple Walmart employees off camera, I would say about 20 to 30 minutes ago. They were trying to just drive out of here, make it home. I spoke with a couple of them inside the car, and they tell me they were inside the store at the time someone opened fire inside the store. Again, I don't know where in the store that happened, but you know, when you talk about active shooter response with that run, hide, fight, what the employees told me they did is all they could do at that point was hide. So they hid in the bathroom and they heard those gunshots ring out until it was clear for them to come out. A Chesapeake police officer ushered them over here to the Chick-fil-A parking lot. They got in a car and they left. So they only briefly spoke with me. I could tell they were nervous, they were sad, and they told me that they knew the shooter very, very well, and that was all. According to police, they say that the sole suspected shooter in this case is dead, and the employees I spoke with also tell me that they believe they know some of the people who are among the multiple fatalities in this shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, Angelique, thank you so much. Great job out there. Keep us updated with anything else that you may learn.
And I mentioned earlier in our coverage that I had gotten a text about someone that I know who was in that area at the time. It is Terry Brown, and she is joining us now on the phone. Terry, I understand that you're very shaken. I can't imagine what you're feeling, but if you're able to describe what happened when you were there at the shopping center on Sam Circle in Chesapeake for us.
This is, without question, the first time I can say that I've ever understood what anyone has said when they say a crime happens in your backyard. I was driving, actually, I had just left at Walmart and gone to the Dollar Tree beside it and come down the road and went to Food Line. I'm coming back and I'm way down Battlefield, but through my rearview mirror, I could see a police car coming. So my natural instinct was to pull over, and I'm pretty sure it was most likely the first car to get to that Walmart, because I was literally at the light where you were going to that Walmart. And the car came by so fast, my car shook. And my car is pretty heavy, but it literally shook. And within seconds, police were coming from everywhere. And I literally sat there, and I was counting the police cars. And at the count, before the light could turn green, it was 13 police cars, and I could see a fire truck coming. I got home because I lived less than 2 minutes from that Walmart, and I could just hear police cars just coming and coming and coming and coming. And there are no words. There are just no words. To see this unfold, to be a part of it, and to know that this crime occurred so close to me, and I was literally in that store, is terrifying.
Terry, it's David Allen, and first let me say thank you for helping us tell this story, and I know it's difficult. When you were in the store, was it crowded?
It was extremely crowded. All of the checkouts were extremely busy. They had most registers open. There are long lines at the self-checkouts. They had people at the front doors. There usually is 1 or 2 greeters. Tonight I saw probably around 4. A lot of people in the store. I literally parked way down the parking lot because you could not find spaces.
And Terry, you mentioned you live not far from there. We have folks here working at the station who don't live far, and we are trying to, set the scene and the geography for people who are not familiar with that part of Chesapeake. Tell me, when you saw all the police cars coming, was there a lot of traffic there on Battlefield Boulevard? It is a busy street, I think, pretty much at any time.
It is a busy street, but I think by the time that the first car came past me, it was like, truthfully, if I don't say anything about Chesapeake Police, I will say tonight they were on it. And I don't know what they do the rest of the time, but they were on the scene. Those police cars came so fast. I mean, literally within a minute, I was counting 13 fire trucks. I mean, they were coming from all areas. There was no traffic moving because so many police cars were coming so quickly.
And how would you describe the area, since you live nearby? A great mixed use of stores, gas stations, restaurants, apartments, houses?
Yes. There's a Walmart, there's Dollar Tree there, there's the home store, there's a Fridays there on the corner, there's a little Shell station. It's a very busy area, and truthfully, tonight there was not a lot of traffic on the main road of Battlefield because all the traffic literally was in the Walmart parking lot.
So, Terry, when you were in the store, everything seemed normal?
Just people walking on top of each other, but it wasn't, it didn't feel like a hostile environment. People were being very friendly, talking about Thanksgiving, what they had to do, what they had to, get and so forth. There was no hostility. It was very calm, despite the fact there was a very, very large amount of people in that store.
What time was it about when you were there?
I would say when I left there, it was about I would say somewhere near 20 to 9. Because Dollar Tree closes at 9, and I wanted to run over there and get something. So I would say, it's about 8:30, 8:40.
Okay.
Yeah,
I literally just missed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you say really there are no words. That you don't expect to be a part of this, but sadly we are all becoming a part of this. As I mentioned, we've had these mass shootings, most recently in Colorado Springs, but we were just reporting on the University of Virginia, the shooting on campus grounds there on the bus, the charter bus.
Yeah, coming back from the
Yes, it's very, very, very scary.
Yeah.
It's a very scary time we live in, and My sister literally fusses at me every night because I'm one of these people that think, oh, I'll just run to the store, I'll be fine. And this has changed my life without a question.
It's a good point. We just we can't do things the way that we normally have done things. And I'm getting text. I think all of us are getting texts from our friends here, and that's one thing that some people are saying, that you can't go anywhere. It seems you can't go to school, you can't go to a church, you can't go to a store, you can't go to a mall.
You can't. It's frightening, and I mean, like, that parking lot is full. When I literally came out of the store, I had to park all the way at the very end, like you were actually leaving out of the Walmart whole facility. And of course, anyone that's seen that Walmart knows how large that parking lot is. And I could not find a space when I came in.
Now let's talk about that for a minute.
That's how crowded it was.
The way that parking lot is set up, you know, you have the circle, which Sam's Circle. Yeah. So it could be difficult if you need to get out of there quickly. That line is usually longer.
Oh, I'll promise you, you're not getting out quickly.
Yes.
You're definitely not getting out of that parking lot quickly, because you have to remember, when you leave that parking lot, you have all those stores like the Chick-fil-A, the Wendy's, there's a little corner mart, and other things there.
So you're not going to be able to cross the street. Chesapeake Police, we've got Leo Kaczynski speaking right now. Terry, thank you so much for your time. Let's listen in.
Thank you.
And kind of went that motion. Several other officers, many other officers also responded. Parts of our members of our fire department responded. We did basically like a tactical entrance and movement in the building. We located multiple fatalities and multiple injured persons. A little while later, through the course of providing treatment, we were able to establish that we believe it's a single shooter, and that single shooter is deceased at this time. That's really all we have to go on. It's a very active scene. We're just a little over 2 hours past it happening. That's kind of where we are. So.
Can you tell us, was the shooter involved in an officer-involved shooting, or did the shooter?
I don't believe so, but I can't say that for sure. So that's still be part of the investigation. It's all, because it all happened very, very quickly, very dynamic. A lot of people involved, a lot of officers. Kind of where we are.
Any clarity as to the relationship? Was he, or were they an employee, or was it a customer?
Do not know at this point. We're getting a lot of information coming in, and we're kind of investigating all that. We're looking into the relationships and all that.
And is there, if not an exact number, of range as to how many fatalities, injuries we're talking about here?
I don't. I apologize. Sorry. I do not have a range. It's been just multiple fatalities and multiple injuries, and all the injured were transported to area hospitals.
Sorry, is the shooter male and female?
Not at this time.
Any important information, because I know the Family Reunification Center is set up, any other information that families may be concerned?
Just that our Family Reunification Center is the Chesapeake Conference Center, and that's at 700 Conference Center Drive. So if you're looking to try to get a hold of a loved one that either worked here or might have been shopping here, that's where you should go, is that 700 Conference Center Drive, to try to locate your loved ones.
Any ideas of how many people were in the store when this was reported?
I don't. Obviously, it's a very large store. It's a super center. I mean, I don't know how many square feet. It's very, very large. I don't know how busy it was at the time. We're just a couple days away from Thanksgiving, so I don't know how much shopping. I don't know. We don't know how much shop. I don't know.
What's that been like for you all with police? Because Walmart's. These are big, square footage. What has that been like for you as far as investigating, canvassing the area, of course, responding directly on scene?
As far as the investigation, it's basically it's an all hands on deck type situation at this point. We have many of our investigators here, and we just piece by piece. We just take a little bit of time. We have plenty of time right now. The store's closed, so we're going to investigate until we get everything complete.
Do you know how long? Agencies here with y'all?
There are several outside agencies, but they're assisting with traffic. Virginia State Police is here, and I think I saw a Virginia Beach police car helping with just traffic control.
Do you know roughly how long it was between when the first officer arrived on the scene and when the tactical entrance was made?
I do not know that. Well, when the first officer arrived, they went in immediately. But I don't know when they started. I don't.
Leo, last time we talked, you said they were methodically clearing the store, department by department. They were still looking for possible fatalities and other victims as well. Tell us an update on that.
I believe that's still going on right now. You know, as big a store as this is, you know, there could be a lot of hiding places. You know, if somebody was in there, they heard something, got scared, ran and hid. You know, we're still kind of in the searching aspect of going through the store just to locate other potential victims or, you know, just people in hiding.
Did it seem like the shooter was shooting randomly, targeted?
I do not know. Okay. I can't say.
Do you know whether or not the shooting was appeared to be contained to one part of the store at this point?
I do not know.
When can we expect to get an update on how many fatalities?
I don't know. I'm hoping sometime tomorrow, looking into that. It's still, like I said, you know, we're just a couple hours past the initial incident, so it's very fluid, very new right now.
Right now, the next steps for your officers are what it was before.
Correct. We're still, yep. Still clearing until we're confident the entire building is clear and safe and secure, and then the criminal investigation part starts, and that could take days.
Obviously, we've seen mass shootings in our area before. Is there a comparison to what your officers are working this scene to others?
I couldn't make a comparison. I'm sorry.
How are you all feeling right now? Because I mean, gun violence, of course, mass shootings have been, you know, reported on nationally. I mean, and of course, Hampton Roads was no stranger to it with what happened 4 years ago in Virginia Beach. I mean, what do you make of just what's been going on?
I mean, it's sad. You know, we're a couple days before the Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, anytime that's sad, I mean, it's just a bad time all around. You know, it's just for everybody involved. You know, especially the victims. Like this is horrible.
Have all shoppers been cleared out of the store?
Yeah, any shoppers, witnesses, they're all contained. Will be interviewed by police. So, I can do 2 more questions. Anybody? Anything else? Anybody? Good. All right. I don't know when we'll do another update. Maybe the next couple hours or so. You know, I don't really anticipate a whole lot more coming out in the overnight hours. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get something together and kind of go from there. So, all right.
Leo, thank you so
all right,
much.
Thank you guys. Thank you. If you guys want to get your.
All right, that's it.
I think
we have a mic for you, yes.
Yours.
Okay, this is just getting an update there from Leo Kaczynski with Chesapeake Police Department. Very busy man tonight, phone still ringing while he's trying to update the media on what happened there with this mass shooting at the Walmart Supercenter on Sam's Circle, which is off of North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, a huge store, a very, very busy area.
We originally were told in terms of a number, and these numbers do shift over the course of reporting, somewhere around 10, then less than 10. And what he just said right now is that he's not comfortable with a number, and that, of course, the shooter is dead. But Nicole, I'm sorry, you're getting some information about Norfolk General, correct?
That's right. We have reached out to Centera Norfolk General Hospital. They confirmed they are treating 5 patients from that shooting right now. No update at this time on their conditions, but we know Centera Norfolk General is a trauma center. And Evan mentioned Nightingale being, did you mention Nightingale? Somebody mentioned that Nightingale was there, or you saw it. So, okay,
yeah,
we're looking at a picture.
Centera,
yeah, okay, we're looking at a picture of it now. There's Nightingale. So usually, you know, when they need to fly somebody to the hospital, and like we said, we are not far from Centera Norfolk General, so we usually will hear the helicopter above us as it's bringing patients to the hospital.
And they are level 1 trauma centers, so we would assume perhaps, hopefully,
with the shooting that they would get
the trauma patients there.
And it might have overwhelmed Chesapeake General too, because Chesapeake General's not as big, and you know, your normal ER that's busy, you know, with everything else that's going on. You know.
It's nearby, but yes, it's not equipped as Centera Norfolk General. But Centera Norfolk General, again, that takes about 17 minutes to get, you know, I used to always time it out when I would come from Chesapeake to Norfolk. It didn't take so long to get to downtown Norfolk from that area where we work.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
One thing, you know, like Leo pointed out, this is a huge Walmart. It's the super center, so it's got the grocery store, it's got the pharmacy, it has the, you know, all the other, you know, home goods and, you know, everything else there. The garden center, I think it has a garden center there as well. So, and you know, when you think about these these big super box stores, you know, there's no place really to go, you know, other than
pretty open.
Yeah, other than ducked behind a row or some shelves or something. So, and I imagine, again, that's always been one of the busiest Walmarts probably, in Chesapeake, certainly.
Sure.
And we've heard, Terry talking about how that parking lot was just so crowded.
And she said the store was crowded. She was in there. We talked to her on the phone. She was in there, I would guess, around 9 o'clock. Because she said she saw the first responders heading to the store after she had left the store. But she said that there were probably 4 greeters. And we know the Walmart greeters, if you go in the store, a lot of them are retired folks. They take on this job, and probably during the holidays you have more people working. She said the registers were busy. The store was packed. You could tell that it was busy, and people were shopping probably for their holiday plans, whether it was for meals or for gifts or a little bit of both.
And basically what she told us is, given how busy it would have been for the holiday, it was just a normal hustle and bustle inside the grocery store. A lot of busy people, a lot of probably stressed people, but she didn't notice anything in the time that she was in the store that she felt was all that unusual given the time of year and the time of day it was.
And back to the information from Leo Kaczynski with Chesapeake Police. There's no idea of the exact number of fatalities. Before they were saying they think less than 10 people dead. We do know 5 people are being treated at Centera Norfolk General Hospital. Police do confirm that the suspected shooter is dead. There's no specification at this point if the shooter worked at the store. Angelique spoke to some people who said they were employees there and the person was well known to them, but they did not say whether that person works at the store. This call came in after 10 o'clock tonight. Again, they do not want you near the scene. They want folks to go to the Chesapeake Conference Center, which is 700 Conference Center Drive. That's off of Greenbrier Parkway. They want you to go there. It's about 7 miles away from the Walmart store. If you're looking for a loved one, if you're trying to connect and get information, that's where the reunification center is. You see there on the map the distance between the store and where they are talking to people.
And they did say that Leo again said that they will be working through the night, of course, and well into the morning, and as they try and still figure out what they have. But it's you loosely add up the numbers here, and it all indications are it's a significant event.
I think when we use the word multiple, we're right about that. We're going to go back to Sarah Hammond, who's been on the scene there since shortly after this all unfolded. Sarah?
Like you guys heard, we just got an update from a spokesperson with Chesapeake Police. I'm going to give you guys kind of another rundown of what the updates are at this point. Y'all were asking earlier about other agencies assisting right now. The people, the first responders in this parking lot that are with the investigation right now are all from Chesapeake. They do have some Virginia State Police and Virginia Beach Police kind of on the perimeter helping with traffic at this point. Right now they cannot confirm if the shooter was male or female or whether or not they were a Walmart employee or what their relationship was to, if at all, anyone or this Walmart in particular. They still believe it was just a single shooter. They have confirmed that shooter is now deceased. Clearly still a very active and fluid scene. They're telling us probably not a lot of updates coming anymore tonight. We still don't have an exact number of how many fatalities or injuries we have at this point. They're saying we likely won't know that until later on into Wednesday at this point. They do not believe it was an officer that shot the shooter, but would not confirm if it was self-inflicted or not when they found the shooter. Again, a lot of information coming in to the spokesperson from the police department. They're looking into the relationship between the shooter, again, if there is any, to this store, any other employees. All of the victims were transported to area hospitals, Nicole, like I think you said earlier. And again, this reunification center, that is huge. If you think you have a loved one, a family member, a friend who is shopping in this Walmart, like we said, we're really close to the holidays here. They don't know exactly how crowded it was in the store when the shots began to ring out, but the reunification center is at the Chesapeake Conference Center. So if you think you know someone who might have been here, or if someone's contacted you, that's where you need to go. Do not come to this Walmart. Again, they're asking for space to do their job. They're still sweeping inside this store. This Walmart is huge. On our way here, I was talking about I've shopped at this Walmart. My photographer who's behind the camera, Neil, has shopped at this Walmart. So clearly it's a very popular, crowded Walmart. And again, we're close to the holidays. And again, they're not sure exactly how busy the store was at that time, but it's a very sad situation. They're, obviously saddened to have to investigate yet another mass shooting, not only just here in Hampton Roads, but in the country as a whole right now. But that's kind of what we know so far.
It really boils down to, and I think we've said this, if not on the air, certainly in the newsroom as we speak about these mass shootings over the last, let's call it 10 days, that there's somebody's family member, they're not going to have that person at the table with them on Thanksgiving.
It's an empty chair.
An empty chair.
Yeah. Sarah, I have a question for you. I know that you've moved since the last time we spoke with you, but it looks like there are fewer emergency vehicles behind you. Is that just the change of location, or has some of that moved out as this investigation seems to move to another stage?
I believe since we've moved over here, you're right, David, it does look a little, I wouldn't say calmer, but it looks like there are slightly fewer first responders out here in the parking lot where we are. I think some have cleared out at this point, since, again, we do know at this point there is not an ongoing threat to the community.
That's what I was trying to get at, was given what Leo said to us from the Chesapeake Police Department, it seemed like they had reached a certain point with this where they really felt they had their arms around what they have there and where it will go through the night and into the morning.
Yeah, and Sarah mentioned this as the police mentioned, that they are still clearing that store, and we don't know how long that's going to take. It is such a huge store. And like you said, Sarah, we may not have details. We may not have them in the next, couple hours. We probably won't. Because you mentioned Wednesday, and I know he even said he'll try to provide an update, but this could take a while. Could be tomorrow that we'll get updated on this as they're searching for folks in the store.
Sarah, thank you.
Absolutely. And
stay by, stand by, and if you get any new information for us, please let us know, okay? All right.
We did speak to my friend Terry earlier on the phone. She was at the store a little bit before this happened, and we recorded that. We could play some of that interview.
And I was counting the police cars, and at the count, before the light could turn green, it was 13 police cars, and I could see a fire truck coming. I got home because I lived less than 2 minutes from that Walmart, and I could just hear police cars just coming and coming and coming and coming, and there are no words. There are just no words to see this unfold, to be a part of it, and to know that this crime occurred so close to me, and I was literally in that store, is terrifying. It was extremely crowded. All of the checkouts were extremely busy. They had most registers open. There are long lines at the self-checkouts. They had people at the front doors. Usually is 1 or 2 greeters. Tonight I saw probably around 4. A lot of people in the store. I literally parked way down the parking lot because you could not find spaces. It is a busy street, but I think by the time that the first car came past me, it was like, truthfully, if I don't say anything about Chesapeake Police, I will say tonight they were on it. And I don't know what they do the rest of the time, but they were on the scene. Those police cars came so fast. I mean, literally within a minute, I was counting 13 fire trucks. I mean, they were coming from all areas. There was no traffic moving because so many police cars were coming so quickly. There's a Walmart, there's Dollar Tree there's the home store, there's a Fatties there on the corner, there's a little Shell station. It's a very busy area, and truthfully tonight there was not a lot of traffic on the main road of Battlefield because all the traffic literally was in the Walmart parking lot.
Friend Terry Brown.
Just out shopping like other people. She was trying to run some errands here on a Tuesday night, getting ready as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday, and saw all of the commotion with the first responders there heading on North Battlefield Boulevard towards the Walmart and Sam's Circle.
Yeah, given the size of what Chesapeake police are dealing with right now, we talk to police departments all the time, and Leo Kozinski has given us 2 updates tonight, and there's a lot he says he doesn't know, but that is very, very common in a story like this because they're still trying to figure out what they have. But he did give us an update, and we're going to play that again so that you get a better idea of where they are in their investigation and what they have on their hands.
Involved a lot of officers. Kind of where we are.
Any clarity as to the relationship? Was he, or were they an employee, or was it a customer?
Do not know at this point. We're getting a lot of information coming in, and we're kind of investigating all that. We're looking into the relationships and all that.
And is there, if not an exact number, a range as to how many fatalities, injuries we're talking about here?
I don't. I apologize. Sorry. I do not have a range. It's been just multiple fatalities and multiple injuries, and all the injured were transported to area hospitals.
Sorry, is the shooter a man, male and female?
Not at this time.
Any important information, because I know the Family Reunification Center is set up, any other information that families may be concerned?
Just that our Family Reunification Center is the Chesapeake Conference Center, and that's at 700 Conference Center Drive. So if you're looking to try to get a hold of a loved one that either worked here or might have been shopping here, that's where you should go, is that 700 Conference Center Drive to try to locate your loved ones.
Any ideas of how many people were in the store when this was reported?
I don't. Obviously this is a very large store. It's a super center. I mean, I don't know how many square feet. It's very, very large. I don't know how busy it was at the time. We're just a couple days away from Thanksgiving, so I don't know how much shopping. I don't know. We don't know how much shop. I don't know.
What's that been like for you all with police? Because Walmart's. These are big, square footage. What has that been like for you as far as investigating, canvassing the area, of course, responding directly on scene?
Well, as far as the investigation, it's basically it's an all hands on deck type situation at this point. We have many of our investigators here, and we just piece by piece. We just take a little bit of time. We have plenty of time right now. The store's closed, so we're going to investigate until we get everything complete.
Do you know how long?
Agencies here with y'all?
There are several outside agencies, but they're assisting with traffic. Virginia State Police is here, and I think I saw a Virginia Beach police car helping with just traffic control.
Do you know roughly how long it was between when the first officer arrived on the scene and when the tactical entrance was made?
I do not know that. Well, when the first officer arrived, they went in immediately. But I don't know when they started. I don't.
Leo, last time we talked, you said they were methodically clearing the store, department by department. They were still looking for possible fatalities and other victims as well. Tell us an update on that.
I believe that's still going on right now. As big a store as this is, there could be a lot of hiding places. If somebody was in there, they heard something, got scared, ran and hid. We're still kind of in the searching aspect of going through the store just to locate other potential victims or just people in hiding.
Did it seem like the shooter was shooting randomly, targeted?
I do not know. Okay. I can't say.
Do you know whether or not the shooting appeared to be contained to one part of the store at this point?
I do not know.
When can we expect to get an update on how many fatalities?
I don't know. I'm hoping sometime tomorrow looking into that. It's still, like I said, we're just a couple hours past the initial incident, so it's very, very fluid, very new right now.
Right now, the next steps for your officers are what it was before.
Correct. We're still, still clearing until we're confident the entire building is clear and safe and secure, and then the criminal investigation part starts, and that could take days.
Obviously, we've seen mass shootings in our area before. Is there a comparison to what your officers are working this scene to others?
I couldn't make a comparison. I'm sorry.
How are you all feeling right now? Because I mean, gun violence, of course, mass shootings have been, reported on nationally. I mean, and of course, Hampton Roads was no stranger to it with what happened 3 years ago in Virginia Beach. I mean, what do you make of just what's been going on?
I mean, it's sad. We're a couple days before the Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, anytime that's sad, I mean, it's just a bad time all around. It's just for everybody involved. Especially the victims. Like this is horrible.
Have all shoppers been cleared out of the store?
Yeah, any shoppers, witnesses, they're all contained. Will be interviewed by police. So, I can do 2 more questions. Anybody? Anything else? Anything? Good. All right. I don't know when we'll do another update. Maybe the next couple hours or so. I don't really anticipate a whole lot more coming out in the overnight hours. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get something together and kind of go from there. So, all right.
Leo, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you. If you guys want to get.
All right, that was Leo Kaczynski, the Chesapeake Police Department's public information officer. That was recorded just a little while ago, but we wanted to play that again in case you've just joined us. It is now just a little after 1 o'clock, and Nicole, let's bring everybody, let's sort of reset all this and bring everybody up to date on how this played out.
Yes, we've been gathering information since this call came in for this mass shooting at the Walmart Supercenter on Sam Circle off of North Battlefield Boulevard. Call came in just after 10 o'clock tonight. Police say multiple people killed, multiple people injured. They can't tell us a number yet. They can't specify the number of fatalities. They do believe it's less than 10 people, they did say during one of these updates that they have provided us. No specification if the shooter worked there at the store. They are not saying at this time, or if it was a man or a woman. They did confirm that the shooter, the suspected shooter, is dead. They are asking families, folks who are concerned about loved ones who may have been shopping or working at the store and they're unaccounted for, to go to the Chesapeake Conference Center. That's on Conference Center Drive off of Greenbrier Parkway, about 7 miles away from the store. They don't want anybody to go towards that store right now. It is a very active scene still. All hands are on deck with Chesapeake Police and first responders. They are getting some assistance from Virginia State Police and Virginia Beach, helping mostly with traffic control around there. And they are still looking for folks in the store. They are sweeping the store now. It's a big, big store, superstore. With a grocery and other things. So it could be before tomorrow before we know. It could be later than that. Centera Norfolk General Hospital has confirmed that they have 5 patients there that they are treating. They don't have updates on those patients' conditions right now. That's as of 12:44 when we talked to them about a half hour ago. Again, still sweeping the store there, and we could possibly have another update from police in a few hours. We have Evan Stewart was out here talking just because he's from Chesapeake, and we've lived not far from that area, and we've shopped there. Just to put it in perspective, first of all, Chesapeake is a huge city, so when you're talking about the response, it really borders Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Suffolk, Portsmouth.
Yeah, and 2 North Carolina counties, and looking at some of the scanner traffic, that it was all hands on deck, all medics, everybody report to this area. And, one thing that's great is in this area is we have the mutual aid. So, while the medics here in Chesapeake are at this location, other cities will help out in case there are other emergencies. And I think that's something that says a lot about the cooperation of all the communities with the mutual aid with neighboring cities.
Thank goodness. When you have something like this big happen, of course there's going to be something else, a medical emergency, or maybe other crimes happening at the same time.
Yeah, you mentioned we talked with Terry Brown, a friend of yours, a little while ago. She was in the store about an hour, let's say, before that all happened. She said it was very crowded, as you would expect, for a couple days before Thanksgiving, but nothing really out of the ordinary, other than people just a little bit stressed, perhaps, getting ready for Thanksgiving and doing their shopping. But again, it's a superstore, so it was crowded, and that's a lot of people. And again, the number has, and that happens in stores like this, the number kind of moves and shifts and whatnot, so we might not have clarity on that for a while. Let's bring Sarah Hammond back in. Angelique Arontok, who's also at the Walmart gathering information for us. Angelique, do we know anything else from your perspective?
So we got a little bit of perspective here from a man who was just inside the store at 9:50 p.m. So that's approximately the time he left. I just spoke with him moments ago. So he recounts walking away from the store, and then after 10 p.m., he heard those gunshots, pretty muffled from the vantage point he was at over at the gas station over here, but he heard those shots ring out through the parking lot, and he could hear it. He heard it, he says, in rapid succession. And, all he could do was really think about, what if he had chosen to stay? He said that he had gone there just for toothpaste, but what if he had wanted to check out the electronics section? What if he had chosen to bring his kids with there? So all those questions are emerging right now, but all he could really say was that he is extending thoughts and prayers to the victims' families at this time. The man who was inside the store just right before that shooting says this is a senseless act. He says he lives here in Chesapeake, but staying at a hotel just across the street right now. And he just recounts hearing those shots. Following those gunshots, he saw the aftermath of the people rushing out of the store and just the screams echoing through the parking lot right after the gunmen opened fire. We, of course, know from officials that the sole suspected shooter in this case is dead. Police say there are multiple fatalities plus injuries. We also heard from a spokesperson with Sentara Health tonight that there are 5 patients at Sentara Norfolk General Hospital receiving treatment. How exactly they are doing is unknown at this time. Back here in Chesapeake, we are at another end of the shopping center, a little bit closer to Sam's, where we are seeing some kind of stragglers over here, some employees who understandably did not want to talk to me or talk to me very briefly, but I do want to recall a conversation.
Yeah, apparently we have a little bit of a problem with Angelique's microphone. We will get that fixed. Just went in for toothpaste. How many people just went in for
absolutely
rolls or
right?
milk or bread?
I'm just going to run in to the store, like Terry said. Sometimes you just say, "I'm just going to run in," and you just don't know. You don't know.
Angelique, we understand we've got your microphone again. Go ahead.
Hey, sorry about that. So as I was talking about, I want to recall a conversation that I had with a set of employees who were just trying to drive out of this shopping center. I spoke with them briefly while they sat in their car, and they recount to me having to hide inside the bathroom at the Walmart. I don't know where in relation that bathroom is in the store, if it's in the back, if it's in the front, but all they could tell me was that at that moment, what they could do was hide. They heard the suspected shooter opening fire. They heard those gunshots just after 10 o'clock. And, I'm seeing also comments on my social media saying this is a time when families are supposed to be shopping for Thanksgiving meals. This is supposed to be a relatively, not super busy, not rush hour time, but there are patrons, there are customers inside that store at that hour. The employees also tell me that they knew the shooter very, very well, and that's all they could tell me at that time. They also worry that they know some of the people among the dead.
Angelique, you mentioned talking to the gentleman who had been in the store just a little bit before the shots rang out, or he was at the gas station and heard the shots. And did he talk about seeing people running from the building, running from the store?
Yes, so the man recounts first hearing that rapid succession of gunfire.
Okay.
He said it was kind of odd because he said it was muffled, loud, muffled, low. It was just kind of a varying volume there, but he heard it in rapid succession. He says he heard about 12 gunshots, and then next thing he knew, people just trying to file out of the store, out of one of the exits there, and he tells me that what was so notable to him is because he's standing at the gas station right over there, right across from Walmart. And he said that all he heard was just screams echoing through that Walmart parking lot and extending all the way to the gas station he stood at.
Wow.
The trauma, I mean, you can't let that go. That's something that, it plays over again in your mind.
Yeah,
and,
always will, probably. Yeah.
And again, what a time to have this happen. This is, when folks are heading home to reunite with their families for the holiday, and some probably haven't seen their families in a couple of years because we've had the pandemic and shutdowns and people not traveling and all that, so.
And he just needed toothpaste. Let's go back to Sarah Hammond, bring her back into the conversation. She arrived at the scene just a little while after that call came in at about 10:12 tonight. And she's been involved in a couple of conversations with Leo Kaczynski from the Chesapeake Police Department. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, guys, I'm here. Since I last talked to you about 15 minutes ago, since we got our last update from Officer Leo Kaczynski, I've learned now that the FBI is now assisting in the investigation, and we are not expecting to get any more updates until around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. But the next update we will get, they say, will be the number of fatalities and injuries from inside the store during this shooting. So that should be the next update we get, again, around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. We could be hearing from some city leaders at that point. I believe they're all kind of coming together at this point to reconvene and communicate about what everybody knows so far. Again, the FBI is here assisting now, and I'm going to kind of step out of the way again so you guys can see how the scene has kind of evolved since we first got here. Again, we started out across the street here. We've now moved over into the Walmart parking lot. It's a huge parking lot, like we've been saying. Still just tons of first responders, lots of flashing lights still out here, but there are fewer vehicles out here than there were when we arrived around 11 o'clock. So some have cleared out, which again indicates that there is not an ongoing threat now. And we again do know that the shooter is dead. We're not entirely, will not confirm exactly how the shooter died, but they are calling this an all hands on deck situation. Again, multiple fatalities and injuries. We don't have that number yet. We should be getting that around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. There are other agencies helping out with traffic at this point, VSP, Virginia Beach Police. And as for the shooter, so far they cannot confirm if it's a male or a female, whether or not they were a Walmart employee, and they're not sure what the relationship, if any, was to Walmart. But again, very fluid situation. They're still inside, they say, sweeping the store to kind of see if there are any other people inside. Leo Kaczynski said, when the shots rang out, people could have been scared and went to run and hide. They weren't sure what to do. It's a huge store. There's a lot of nooks and crannies to hide in. So they're still making sure there aren't any people still in there. But to their knowledge, as they're continuing to sweep, they say all the shoppers they've been able to find have been evacuated from the store at this point. Again, like we keep saying, this parking lot is just entirely closed off to the public. You cannot come in here. And again, if you think someone you know and love was shopping here tonight, again, like we keep saying, it's around the holiday season. A lot of people are out doing last minute shopping. Employees are here restocking for more people to come in and shop tomorrow. But if you think you know someone who might have been in here, go to the Chesapeake Conference Center. That's the reunification center where they're directing people to reunite with loved ones. Again, do not come here to this Walmart. They are trying to give themselves as much space as possible to continue this investigation, to continue sweeping the area, again, to make sure everyone is out and there are no other victims inside the Walmart at this point.
Well, Sarah, I know that you have talked with Leo twice, Leo Kaczynski of the Chesapeake Police Department, since early on and then just recently. And you asked him a lot of questions, as did other reporters, and he mentioned nowhere of talking with anyone from management in the store. Is that correct?
Correct. He did not mention anything about that, but they said as shoppers were leaving, they were screening and kind of questioning them about what they knew at that point, but no mention of any management at this point.
Okay, all right.
Why don't we go back to the most recent interview with Leo Kaczynski with the Chesapeake Police Department, if we have that.
Involved a lot of officers. Kind of where we are.
Any clarity as to the relationship? Was he, or were they an employee, or was it a customer?
Do not know at this point. We're getting a lot of information coming in, and we're kind of investigating all that. We're looking into the relationships and all that.
And is there, if not an exact number, a range as to how many fatalities, injuries we're talking about here?
I don't. I apologize. Sorry. I do not have a range. It's been just multiple fatalities and multiple injuries, and all the injured were transported to area hospitals.
Sorry, is the shooter a man, male and female?
Not at this time.
Any important information, because I know the Family Reunification Center is set up, any other information that families may be concerned?
Just that our Family Reunification Center is the Chesapeake Conference Center, and that's at 700 Conference Center Drive. So if you're looking to try to get a hold of a loved one that either worked here or might have been shopping here, that's where you should go, is that 700 Conference Center Drive, to try to locate your loved ones.
Any ideas of how many people were in the store when this was reported?
I don't. Obviously, this is a very large store. It's a super center. I mean, I don't know how many square feet. It's very, very large. I don't know how busy it was at the time. We're just a couple days away from Thanksgiving, so I don't know how much shopping. I don't know. We don't know how much shop. I don't know.
What's that been like for you all with police? Because I mean, Walmart's. I mean, these are big, square footage. I mean, what has that been like for you as far as investigating, canvassing the area, of course, responding directly on scene?
As far as the investigation, I mean, it's basically an all hands on deck type situation at this point. We have many of our investigators here, and we just piece by piece. We just take a little bit of time. We have plenty of time right now. The store's closed, so we're going to investigate until we get everything complete.
Do you know how long? Agencies here with y'all?
There are several outside agencies, but they're assisting with traffic. Virginia State Police is here, and I think I saw a Virginia Beach police car helping with just traffic control.
Do you know roughly how long it was between when the first officer arrived on the scene and when the tactical entrance was made?
I do not know that. Well, when the first officer arrived, they went in immediately. But I don't know when they started. I don't.
Leo, last time we talked, you said they were methodically clearing the store, department by department. They were still looking for possible fatalities and other victims as well. Tell us an update on that.
I believe that's still going on right now. As big a store as this is, there could be a lot of hiding places. If somebody was in there, they heard something, got scared, ran and hid. We're still kind of in the searching aspect of going through the store just to locate other potential victims or just people in hiding.
Did it seem like the shooter was shooting randomly, targeted?
I do not know. Okay. I can't say.
Do you know whether or not the shooting appeared to be contained to one part of the store at this point?
I do not know.
When can we expect to get an update on how many fatalities?
I don't know. I'm hoping sometime tomorrow looking into that. It's still, like I said, we're just a couple hours past the initial incident, so it's very, very fluid, very new right now.
Right now, the next steps for your officers are what it was before.
Correct. We're still, still clearing until we're confident the entire building is clear and safe and secure, and then the criminal investigation part starts, and that could take days.
Obviously, we've seen mass shootings in our area before. Is there a comparison to what your officers are working this scene to others?
I couldn't make a comparison. I'm sorry.
How are you all feeling right now? Because I mean, gun violence, of course, mass shootings have been, reported on nationally. I mean, and of course, Hampton Roads was no stranger to what happened 4 years ago in Virginia Beach. I mean, what do you make of just what's been going on?
I mean, it's sad. We're a couple days before the Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, anytime that's sad, I mean, it's just a bad time all around. It's just for everybody involved. Especially the victims. Like this is horrible.
Have all shoppers been cleared out of the store?
Yeah, any shoppers, witnesses, they're all contained. Will be interviewed by police. So, I can do 2 more questions. Anybody? Anything else? Okay, good. All right, I don't know when we'll do another update. Maybe the next couple hours or so. I don't really anticipate a whole lot more coming out in the overnight hours. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get something together and kind of go from there. So, all right.
Leo, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Long night already. It's 1:23 in the morning here, and this the call for the shooting came in just after 10 o'clock. And they've got their work set out for them, definitely. That was the public information officer for Chesapeake Police, Leo Kaczynski, updating us.
We're getting some reaction coming in from lawmakers who were learning this news at the early hour of Wednesday.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Louise Lucas, she tweeted, "I'm absolutely heartbroken that America's latest mass shooting took place in a Walmart in my district, Chesapeake, Virginia, tonight. I will not rest until we find the solutions to end this gun violence epidemic in our country that has taken so many lives there."
And Mark Warner, Senator Mark Warner, said he's sickened by reports of yet another mass shooting, this time at a Walmart in Chesapeake. I'll be monitoring developments closely. And then he added, in the meantime, I urge all those in the community to listen to guidance from local law enforcement and stay away from the scene. We have heard that from police as well, as they try and get people who are looking to be reunited with their families to get to the reunification center, which is the Chesapeake Conference Center. We hope to have a report from there coming up. We're working on that right now. And stay away to let the police and other emergency vehicles do their work at the Walmart.
Yeah, we mentioned this happened just after 10 o'clock. And people were heading to bed then. You know, some folks were out and about, but of course, I think as more people learn about this shooting, we will get more reaction, especially from lawmakers. You know, this is just 2 days before Thanksgiving, and people out and about. The Walmart was busy. We heard from my friend Terry Brown, who had been in the store maybe an hour before the shooting happened. Angelique spoke to someone who had just left the store and heard the shooting, heard muffled shots and then screams. So, yeah, I mean, this is just, it's a horrible, horrible night.
Yeah.
And,
Angelique also, I'm sorry, Nicole, also told the story of speaking to the gentleman who literally left that store just minutes before as he was leaving the area, stopped to get some gas and heard the gunshots, and also saw and heard people running from the building, from the store, screaming,
that's
difficult.
Yeah, and where he said he just ran to get some toothpaste, you know, Terry, who we're about to hear from again, you know, was talking about just how you just have those moments, we all do, where we say we're just going to run in the store. You don't expect something like this to happen. Let's listen to what she told us earlier tonight.
And I was counting the police cars, and at the count, before the light could turn green, it was 13 police cars, and I could see a fire truck coming. I got home because I lived less than 2 minutes from that Walmart, and I could just hear police cars just coming and coming and coming and coming. And there are no words. There are just no words. To see this unfold, to be a part of it, and to know that this crime occurred so close to me, and I was literally in that store, is terrifying. It was extremely crowded. All of the checkouts were extremely busy. They had most registers open. There are long lines at the self-checkouts. They had people at the front doors. Usually is 1 or 2 greeters. Tonight I saw probably around 4. A lot of people in the store. I literally parked way down the parking lot because you could not find spaces. It is a busy street, but I think by the time that the first car came past me, it was like, truthfully, if I don't say anything about Chesapeake Police, I will say tonight they were on it. And I don't know what they do the rest of the time, but they were on the scene. Those police cars came so fast. I mean, literally within a minute, I was counting 13 fire trucks. I mean, they were coming from all areas. There was no traffic moving because so many police cars were coming so quickly. There's a Walmart, there's Dollar Tree there, there's the home store, there's a Fridays there on the corner, there's a little Shell station. It's a very busy area, and truthfully tonight there was not a lot of traffic on the main road of Battlefield because all the traffic literally was in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, Wow.
That's Terry Brown telling us
Terry
what
Brown.
what she witnessed there after she had left the store, and describing how the store was when she was in there before everything just changed. Just suddenly everything changed.
Yeah, she described it as a pretty normal night in a very busy store 2 days before Thanksgiving, as you would expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So nothing unusual from her perspective, just the usual, given the day and the holiday that is approaching.
And I think we hear that a lot, sadly, as we cover these mass shootings where it's just a matter of seconds and, something happens, a gunman comes in and lives are changed forever.
Our lives, many lives, were just changed a week ago Sunday with the situation on the grounds of UVA.
That's
Three
right.
bright young lives that they never got to live their lives.
And then most recently in Colorado Springs, we've been, reporting on that at the LGBTQ club where, alleged gunman went in there and lives were changed, lives were taken. So,
and here we go again.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Just to recap, if you're just joining us here, we've got this mass shooting at the Walmart Supercenter on Sam Circle off of Battlefield Boulevard. Police told us that multiple people are killed. They've been killed and injured, and they tell us the suspected shooter is dead.
Let's talk a little bit about the number, Nicole. The number came out something around 10, and we admit that in stories like this, the numbers do change. And then they're now saying they don't know the number, but we know that, again, as you mentioned earlier, that 5 people have been transported to Norfolk General, which is a level 1 trauma center. There you see a live picture right now, and that we've heard reports of multiple people wounded and multiple people killed. So we will learn that as the morning goes on and get a better sense of that, and we just simply hope for the best.
Right. We don't know what type of weapon was used.
No.
We don't know. There are a lot of things we don't know. And also, as Leo Kaczynski was, talking to the media tonight, you don't want to say the wrong thing. And you could see him pause sometimes when we were asking questions because he didn't have the exact answer. He didn't have the exact number of people who died. He says they believe it's less than 10 people. Someone did mention there was a body outside of the store, but this is believed to have happened inside of the store. Multiple injuries there. We mentioned 5 patients we do know are being treated at Centera Norfolk General, which is a level 1 trauma hospital. Chesapeake General Hospital is not far from that scene, not far from that Walmart Supercenter, but Centera Norfolk General does have the trauma team there.
We're going to ask Angelique Arentok to rejoin our coverage. Angelique, let's bring you in so we can see you.
She's at the Reunification Center there at the Chesapeake Conference Center off of Greenbrier Parkway. Angelique, are you seeing many people there pulling up looking for answers about their loved ones?
So we just pulled up moments ago. I want to say there are a couple of people in this parking lot. There are actually a lot of cars parked here. Not too many people yet that we've seen. Again, we just arrived minutes ago. Not too many people we've seen come inside, but people who we have seen go inside, I mean, they're in their family groups, of course, trying to find answers as to some of their loved ones that they may have had inside the Walmart on Sam Circle off Battlefield Boulevard. I do want to read off what City of Chesapeake officials are saying on Twitter. So this is the family reunification site at the Chesapeake Conference Center. This site is for immediate family members or the emergency contact of those who may have been in the building. So if you fall in that category, this is where you may need to head to tonight. We, of course, were on scene since about 11:30 or past 11:30 over by Sam Circle, and we saw the crowds there. The amount of onlookers and things like that really dwindle down, and we do assume it's because people are starting to kind of make their way around here. We do see at least one Chesapeake Police cruiser out here as well, but we also do want to bring in, we are now hearing from Walmart corporate, and I do want to read off the tweet that they sent out. just moments ago, Walmart Incorporated saying we are shocked at this tragic event at our Chesapeake, Virginia store. We're praying for those impacted, the community, and our associates. We're working closely with law enforcement, and we are focused on supporting our associates. Back out here, we do want to say there are a few people out here, not too many, but we'll continue to monitor how things go out here. Again, this is the Family Reunification Center at Chesapeake Conference Center.
You know, when we talk about the Reunification Center, it reminds me of the Virginia Beach mass shooting there. Thank you, Angelique, at Building 1 of the Municipal Center, and knowing people who knew people who were there, and the waiting. I remember, you know, we worked through the night. That shooting happened right before close of business that day, and messaging with someone who still had not heard from their loved one, and they had folks waiting at the hospital. They were unclear of where to go. I mean, here we've got this reunification center set up, but just that feeling of waiting, and it ended up that their loved one was one of the victims of the mass shooting there in Virginia Beach. So it's got to be a horrible,
it's got to be bad,
horrible feeling when they're unaccounted for.
Yeah, so many people today have cell phones, and so perhaps they connected that way, and yet there still are going to be some people that have not connected.
Which will make it even more scary if they know they have a phone and they're not answering it, you know.
Yeah, or they dropped the phone in the store.
That's right.
And ran, and you know, any number of those things could make for some anxious moments. And we just keep our fingers crossed for everybody involved in,
we sure do.
In that. But not many, actually, Angelique is saying not many, unless they're inside, and we don't know that at this point.
Right, and we do know that, you know, police and first responders are still sweeping that store. The Walmart Supercenter is huge there, and they're looking, you know, in every angle, every position of the store, because if you hear gunfire, you're going to run and try to hide, and you just don't know when it's safe to come out. I mean, we hear that when we see interviews with witnesses, when we have scenes like this all across the country, right, where they say they didn't know, they had to play dead, or they stayed somewhere until they knew it was time to leave. So, yeah.
All of those stories hopefully will come out, may come out as this story unfolds. A lot we don't know at this particular point. Let's bring Sarah Hammond back into our conversation. Sarah, you've been there since literally minutes after this happened tonight, and you've moved locations once, and I asked you a little while ago about whether the cars behind you seem to be thinning out at all, maybe indication of the investigation and the work there moving to another phase. And what can you tell us? What else have you learned?
So again, we've learned now that the FBI is here on the ground assisting with the investigation. So they are here. Like you said, it has kind of thinned out. We don't see nearly as many fire trucks or ambulances at this point. It's mainly just police cars, and those police cars are, for the most part, Chesapeake police officers. They do have a couple of Virginia Beach police officers out here, VSP kind of helping direct traffic, kind of keep people away from here and go to the Reunification Center where Angelique is right now. And like you guys said, it's a waiting game right now. There's a lot of unanswered questions. Specifically, I think the biggest question is how many fatalities, how many injuries from inside this Walmart. That should be the next thing that we will figure out. We're supposed to, as of right now, get another update at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and that will likely be the next thing that we learn, per the Chesapeake Police Department spokesperson Leo Kaczynski, who we've been showing you throughout the night. That's kind of the latest thing that he is telling us. And I don't know if you guys have already read this, but we have gotten a response from Walmart, the corporation, now on Twitter, saying, "We are shocked at this tragic event in our Chesapeake, Virginia store. We're praying for those impacted, the community, and our associates. We're working closely with law enforcement, and we are focused on supporting our associates at this time." So we have heard from Walmart. FBI, again, is here assisting, and the next update we should get will be how many people were killed or injured in this shooting.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you. Good job out there, and let us know when you get new information. I appreciate your work out there so much. Yeah.
Maybe we should go back to the statements that, we're hearing from some of our senators about this.
Yeah.
Can we take that now? Well, first of all, from Senator Louise Lucas. Okay, she says she's absolutely heartbroken that America's latest mass shooting took place in a Walmart in my district in Chesapeake, Virginia tonight. I will not rest until we find the solutions to end this gun violence epidemic in our country that has taken so many lives.
And Senator Mark Warner also said he is sickened by reports of yet another mass shooting, this time at a Walmart in Chesapeake, and that he'll be monitoring developments closely. And in the meantime, he's urging everyone in that community to listen to guidance from law enforcement and stay away from the scene. That was something that police mentioned earlier tonight, and we reported earlier. And it seems from our reporters on the ground there that that has been the case, that people have given police and other first responders the room to work there, some space, which is really important as they do some very, very important work.
Yes, and again, let's take a look at the statement from Walmart Inc. They tweeted this: "We are shocked at this tragic event at our Chesapeake, Virginia store. We are praying for those impacted, the community, and our associates. We are working closely with law enforcement, and we are focused on supporting our associates." And we know how big these stores are. So when they speak of their associates, they're talking about a lot of people. And of course, we know that these stores hire more people generally with the holidays coming up. Walmart is a super center. They do delivery. They've got the Walmart Plus. They've got a lot of things going on in that store. We would have that many people at one time.
Yeah, it's and again, the holiday, that only adds to it. There you see on the next to Nicole and me, the live pictures from the scene of the emergency vehicles that are still there. But as your friend Terry Brown said, who was in that store just a little bit before the shooting occurred, she was just sitting there counting all of the police
Zipping
cars
by.
that were responding, zipping by. Hard to imagine that everybody wasn't called to that scene in the early hours to figure out what they had and to try and get control of this.
It's reminiscent of the mass shooting in Virginia Beach.
It is,
I think, a reporter had asked Leo Kaczynski from Chesapeake Police if there's anything he could compare. And I think for us, within the last few years, that was the big one, the mass shooting at the municipal center there. And this is it's reminiscent of it.
Right. We know that, of course, that the gunman is dead. We do not know whether he was shot by police or took their own life. We have not gotten confirmed that it is a male.
Well, we're not. Yes, that's right. We're not even confirmed if it's a male or female. If the suspected gunman worked at the store, we don't know. They could not confirm that with us.
Right.
Obviously, a lot of chatter, but we don't know that. But they did say they can confirm that the shooter is dead.
And that will be obviously a part of the investigation to try and see what the motive may have been, if there's any way to find that out. With the mass shooting in Virginia Beach, of course, there was a computer that they could not get into of the gunman there. So lots that still has to be uncovered. It's still very early in the investigation.
It's going to take a while. We do know 5 people are being treated at Centera Norfolk General, which is a level 1 trauma center. Hospital, I should say, where they can treat, gunshot wounds. We're looking at the picture there. But Leo Kaczynski with Chesapeake Police told us there were multiple injuries, multiple fatalities, multiple injuries with this mass shooting at the Walmart Supercenter on Sam's Circle in Chesapeake. That's off of Battlefield Boulevard, a very, very busy area, heavily populated with stores, housing. It's a very, very busy area.
Yeah, we've heard from Angelique Arentalk in the last couple of minutes. She's at the Chesapeake Conference Center, the Reunification Center, and she had just arrived on the scene, and she said that it did not appear to be very busy. And at least there weren't many cars parked in the parking lot. So whether some people were inside or people have connected another way, we just do not know at this time. But whether people dropped cell phones in the store and ran, or their cell phones may have been in purses or bags and shopping carts and they just took off. It's really hard to know at this particular point how people are finding ways to connect in all of this.
Yeah, we just don't know. You're looking at that map there that shows you the distance between the scene of the shooting at the Walmart and that reunification center that's been set up for loved ones. If they're waiting to hear, not hearing from someone they expected, that they knew maybe was in the store this evening, that's set up at the Chesapeake Conference Center off of Greenbrier Parkway there.
And police did say that's where you need to go. Don't come to the store, but go there to the conference center, and presumably they're set up there to help people make connections if they haven't already
And
with their cell phones.
In the meantime, Virginia State Police and Virginia Beach Police confirmed to be helping out with traffic there, traffic control, and the FBI is now on scene there. So, you know, all hands on deck trying to put the pieces together and figure out what happened, what caused this mass shooting to happen tonight at the Chesapeake Walmart Supercenter there off of North Battlefield Boulevard.
Sarah, in the booth, can we go back to Angelique Arentok and get an update from there? Okay. All right, we're going to try and do that in a little bit. We had a little bit of a technology problem there. We'll
Live TV.
Live TV. We'll reboot and see if we can't get her back, because she had just, when we spoke to her before, she had just arrived. So
to that reunification center, and didn't see a lot of people there, which could be a good sign. You know, she saw a few cars in the parking lot with people, and again, that just has to be a horrible feeling if you're waiting to hear from somebody and you haven't heard from them, and this is where they tell you to go.
Yeah. All right. We rebooted. We now have Angelique Arentok. Angelique, when we talked to you just a little while ago, you mentioned that you had just arrived and you saw some cars, as Nicole mentioned. Has the scene there changed at all?
Yeah, just a little bit. We've seen several people now leave the reunification center, the family reunification center here at Chesapeake Conference Center. Unfortunately, just moments ago, I heard a woman wailing, grief-stricken, I presume. She is over with some of her family members right now over there. So some people here in Chesapeake are learning really sad news just days ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. There are dozens of cars here in the parking lot, and what I do assume is that they go inside and that they're able to sit down inside. So while we don't see a lot of people over here in the parking lot, they are presumably inside the conference center at this time. Again, this is the reunification center for the immediate family members or the emergency contacts of those who may have been inside the Chesapeake Walmart on Sam Circle.
All right, Angelique, thank you for that. I just fear this is going to be a tough night for our community.
Yeah, and the waiting, just, you know, to know. And they are still sweeping the store. The police said, first responders, they're there checking out to look to see if anybody's there inside the store, and that's going to take a while.
It'll take a while. It is.
We aren't expected to hear back from them possibly until 8 or 9 in the morning.
Yeah. Hey, Leo Kaczynski said that possibly in a couple of hours, but then Sarah Hammond said her sense was that, and Leo did say this, maybe perhaps not until 8 or 9 in the morning, as you just mentioned. So they've got a lot of work to do, and we don't know, with the best efforts of our crews and our folks in the newsroom, exactly what that effort is at this particular point. Excuse me, and perhaps they don't know.
Right, but we do want you to know that we are staying on top of this. Clearly, we're still here for you. We're working to get some answers. We have folks in the newsroom. The Daybreak team is already there, making calls, sending emails, listening to scanners, scouring social media, taking emails and texts from people. We all have ties in this community. We're hearing from folks.
Yeah, we're hearing from friends and folks who were in the store or just shortly before, and all those types of things, and just trying to piece it together. Tough night.
Yes, it is. We spoke to one of my friends, Terry Brown, who was in that area shortly before the shooting happened. Let's listen in on that interview.
And I was counting the police cars. And at the count, before the light could turn green, it was 13 police cars, and I could see a fire truck coming. I got home because I lived less than 2 minutes from that Walmart, and I could just hear police cars just coming and coming and coming and coming. And there are no words. There are just no words. To see this unfold, to be a part of it, and to know that this crime occurred so close to me, and I was literally in that store, is terrifying. It was extremely crowded. All of the checkouts were extremely busy. They had most registers open. There are long lines at the self-checkouts. They had people at the front doors. Usually it's 1 or 2 greeters. Tonight I saw probably around 4. A lot of people in the store. I literally parked way down the parking lot because you could not find spaces. It is a busy street, but I think by the time that the first car came past me, it was like, truthfully, if I don't say anything about Chesapeake Police, I will say tonight they were on it. And I don't know what they do the rest of the time, but they were on the scene. Those police cars came so fast. I mean, literally within a minute, I was counting 13 fire trucks. I mean, they were coming from all areas. There was no traffic moving because so many police cars were coming so quickly. There's a Walmart, there's Dollar Tree there's the home store, there's a Fridays there on the corner, there's a little Shell station. It's a very busy area, and truthfully tonight there was not a lot of traffic on the main road of Battlefield because all the traffic literally was in the Walmart parking lot.
All right, that was Terry Brown just giving us an idea of what things were like shortly before the shooting and how she saw the response, the police cars, emergency crews rushing to the Super Walmart there in Chesapeake on Sam Circle.
Yeah, if you've been scrolling through your Twitter feed, I know you have, I have as well, this story is just going across the country tonight. This latest mass shooting in our backyard. Sarah Hammond joins us again live, and Sarah, you've done a great job of bringing us up to date out there, and what new do you have? What's the sense? What's the mood out there? I imagine it's fairly quiet.
It is, you're right, it's very quiet. I feel like every time I turn around, there's just a few less first responders here. Like I said, I think before, when we got here, there were a lot of fire trucks and ambulances and of course police cars, but now those fire trucks and ambulances have for the most part left this parking lot. But you know, again, there are a lot of unanswered questions right now, and it's kind of a waiting game at this point, which I know we've been saying that the next update should be the number of fatalities and injuries that were inside this Walmart. And we might hopefully be getting that around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. But again, it's a very fluid situation, not a whole lot of new information coming in right now. The last thing we learned was that the FBI is on the scene here assisting with this investigation. We've seen them now walking around the parking lot, so we know they are on scene at this point. But, you know, again, no ongoing threat. The shooter is dead. We don't know if it's a male or a female at this point, what their connection, if any, is to Walmart. And again, just a lot of unanswered questions. Very fluid situation out here right now.
Nicole, when we spoke with Angelique Arentok a while ago, she mentioned that she talked to a couple of Walmart employees as they were being brought to their cars in the parking lot, and they were obviously very shaken, and said that they knew the shooter. That's as far as they would go.
That's right. They wouldn't say if it was a man or a woman. They wouldn't say if that person worked there at the store with them. But yeah, it makes you wonder. Knew very well, right? They said they knew very well. They made it clear that they knew that the alleged gunman very well.
Yes, so
shooter, I should say.
Yeah, shooter. Yeah, we'll see where that goes as the investigation. Again, Sarah Hammond confirming what we're hearing here, which is it looks like the next big update, significant update from police or perhaps the FBI or both will come at some point early tomorrow morning. We're going to promise you that we will have that for you as we continue to follow this story on air, online, and on all of our social platforms.
That's right. So again, not an idea. They could not give us an idea, police couldn't, of the number of fatalities, but they called it multiple. They thought less than 10 people, but multiple injuries. We know we have some folks being treated at Centera Norfolk General Hospital, and you've got the reunification center there set up at the Chesapeake Conference Center, not too far from the scene of the shootings, and all hands are on deck. It's going to be a long night for a lot of folks.
Yes. Just
trying to get answers and trying to help people who need it. Now we're one day before Thanksgiving.
And it will be waiting. Will be a part of this, and that's tough, I know, for so many who are waiting for critical information. As Angelique, when she was talking to us from the reunification center at the Chesapeake Conference Center, you could hear in the background some people who were very upset. And so our prayers are with them as they deal with the uncertainty and what other news they might get.
That's right. Okay, and we have gotten some reaction tonight. Again, this happened, pretty late. Some folks are going to bed, as we learned. This happened just after 10, and we started reporting on this within our 11 o'clock newscast. So we've got reaction. We'll start with Senator Louise Lucas. She says, "I'm absolutely heartbroken that America's latest mass shooting took place in a Walmart in my district in Chesapeake, Virginia tonight. I will not rest until we find the solutions to end this gun violence epidemic in our country that has taken so many lives." And Senator Mark Warner, he also issued a statement, sickened by reports of yet another mass shooting, this time at a Walmart in Chesapeake. "I'll be monitoring developments closely. In the meantime, I urge all those in the community to listen to guidance from local law enforcement, stay away from the scene." And we've been saying that tonight too. I mean, I think it's just human nature where you might want to check out something, but this is not the place to be this early this morning, overnight here, as police officers, investigators work to find out what happened there and to sweep that store and look for any victims.
Yeah, right there on your screen is a statement that we received not too long ago from Walmart saying, "We are shocked at this tragic event at our Chesapeake, Virginia store. We are praying for those impacted, the community, and our associates. We're working closely with law enforcement as we are focused on supporting our associates." That was from Walmart corporate just a little while ago. And we're adding to our coverage as we continue to follow this story. Emily Harrison is going to be joining our coverage just as soon as she gets established throughout the night. And I can assure you that our newsroom is busy right now. The Daybreak team is in there working the phones and contacts just to see if we can get you some more information.
Yeah, and again, this is coming just a little bit over a week since we had the sad task to report the shooting on the grounds of the University of Virginia on a charter bus that had just returned from a field trip that some students had taken, and they lost 3 football players in that shooting.
Right, and I'm sure it is discomforting for many people who remember the mass shooting at Virginia Beach in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's happened again.
It's happened again. This is tough. Nobody wants to be a part of that club, but it just seems to be. This is what we report on. If it's not here in our area, we're telling you a story about a shooting somewhere else. Most recently, Colorado Springs at the LGBTQ club. That shooting just happened, 2 days ago?
Yeah. And
we've been talking about that. So I don't know. It's a horrible time. It's a horrible time.
Nicole, on the next to us there, the shot from Chesapeake, that has a lot of emergency vehicles have left. But when we were talking to your friend Terry Brown, she said she just was sitting there watching all these cars rushing to the scene, and some of those vehicles have left. Sarah Hammond told us that it seemed like all the ambulances had left, which would indicate they've gotten to everyone who was wounded, we would think, and gotten them the medical care that they need. But they still have a large, difficult task in that store overnight and into the morning, for sure.
And of course, and that's why it's going to take time to get the information to us. They want to make sure that we have the correct information. And as they work the scene, they're still obviously going to be at the store checking everything out there, but also as families work to reunite or get some information on their loved ones.
Right. All right, let's bring Angelique Arentalk back into the conversation. She is at the Chesapeake Conference Center, the Reunification Center. And Angelique, when we talked with you just a few moments ago, it was clear that some people there are very upset at perhaps the news that they're learning.
Right, you could hear that they were audibly upset here in the parking lot. Since then, things have quieted down a little bit outside, but just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're seeing from our vantage point here at the reunification site, which is the Chesapeake Conference Center. We, of course, see the Chesapeake Police Cruiser with its lights on out there, but we also see this EMS truck that just pulled up moments ago. I'm not too sure how that ties in with what's going on here at the reunification site. It might be a medical service call that is needed inside. But back out here, I do want to mention that there are dozens of cars parked in this lot just to my left over here. And what we can assume is that the people inside those cars are inside waiting about news of their loved ones and how they're doing tonight. This reunification site, once again, is for family members, immediate family members, or the emergency contacts of those who may have been inside the Walmart, the Chesapeake Walmart on Sam Circle this evening. While I'm here, I do want to recount some of the conversations that I've had with several people who have been inside the store. We've heard from Terry Brown throughout the evening, and she offers her insight as to what she saw in terms of the aftermath there. But I also spoke with a man who lives in Chesapeake. He did not want to be identified, but he told me he just decided to run into that Chesapeake as per usual because it's one of the busiest areas here in the city. It's a go-to shopping center, if you will, that superstore. He decided to run in to get some toothpaste, and he might have, if he decided to, wanted to wander around, check out electronics, things like that, but he decided to just get toothpaste for tonight. And right as soon as he walked out, around 10 o'clock tonight, when he walked over to the Shell gas station off Battlefield Boulevard, that is when he heard muffled gunshots, rapid succession of rounds coming from inside the Walmart. And after that, just people rushing out of the store and also hearing their screams echoing through the parking lot. He could hear it through the Shell gas station. I also want to recall a conversation I had with a set of Walmart employees inside their car. They tried to hustle out of the parking lot, of course, but I had a brief moment to speak with them, and they were very noticeably shaken, nervous, and sad, considering this is all, there is no good time for this, right? But taking place days ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, it is just unimaginable. At this moment, they say that they had to hide in the bathroom. They also tell me that they knew the shooter, the suspected shooter, very, very well, and that is all they could tell me at that point in time. I do hope to reconnect with them at some point in the near future, hopefully, once they have taken some time to process things, I do hope, but they do worry that they know some of the people among the dead.
Angelique, thank you so much, and I know you've worked hard out there and given us a great deal of information that's helped us understand this story, and our viewers as well, about different people that you've spoken with about the story.
So we have heard a few things in the interview about the store, the setup of it, how big it is and the hours, and I'm looking in the Walmart app now. So I think we remember the time before the pandemic where that was a 24-hour superstore. Like, you could go and you didn't have to rush out, but it closes at 11. So the shooting happened, around 10:15 or a little bit after 10 o'clock.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The store closes at 11. It says here the hours are 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. So, this really puts it more into perspective. If somebody's trying to run in and grab something before the store closes, that it would make sense they would be there, 10 o'clock, and that final hour of the store being open.
Right. And busy, as your friend Terry told us.
That's right.
It was very busy. It's a huge store. If you've ever been in there, it's a superstore, so it's very, very big.
It is.
And so
I'm just looking at the departments, the garden center, the bakery, the pharmacy, grocery.
Yeah.
It's a big, it's a super center, and it has everything, as Leo Kaczynski with Chesapeake Police was saying, and that's why they need time to search, every inch of that store to see if there was somebody hiding, or or if there's somebody hurt that's in there, or the worst. So.
Right.
Yeah, we just hope for the best. We hope for the best.
Yeah, in addition to our crews in the field right now, who we've been talking to, Sarah Hammond at the Walmart and Angelique Arontalk at the Reunification Center, the Chesapeake Conference Center. Emily Harrison is gearing up to join our coverage. She's going to be at Centera Norfolk General. We understand that 5 people have gone there. Mm-hmm. And again, that's a level 1 trauma hospital, so they can do anything that they can do.
That's right, to help those five folks. So we know at least those 5 people are being treated at a hospital, but the police said earlier that there were multiple people injured as well as killed. Let's listen in on this interview with Leo Kaczynski from the Chesapeake Police Department.
Involved a lot of officers. Kind of where we are.
Any clarity as to the relationship? Were they an employee, or was it a customer?
Do not know at this point. We're getting a lot of information coming in, and we're kind of investigating all that. We're looking into the relationships and all that.
And is there, if not an exact number, a range as to how many fatalities, injuries we're talking about here?
I don't. I apologize. Sorry. I do not have a range. It's been just multiple fatalities and multiple injuries, and all the injured were transported to area hospitals.
Sorry, is the shooter male and female?
Not at this time.
Any important information, because I know the Family Reunification Center is set up, any other information that families may be concerned?
Just that our Family Reunification Center is the Chesapeake Conference Center, and that's at 700 Conference Center Drive. So if you're looking to try to get a hold of a loved one that either worked here or might have been shopping here, that's where you should go, is that 700 Conference Center Drive, to try to locate your loved ones.
Any ideas of how many people were in the store when this was reported?
I don't. Obviously, it's a very large store. It's a super center. I mean, I don't know how many square feet. It's very, very large. I don't know how busy it was at the time. We're just a couple days away from Thanksgiving, so I don't know how much shopping. I don't know. We don't know how much shop. I don't know.
What's that been like for you all with police? Because Walmart's. These are big, square footage. What has that been like for you as far as investigating, canvassing the area, of course, responding directly on scene?
Well, as far as the investigation, it's basically it's an all hands on deck type situation at this point. We have many of our investigators here, and we just piece by piece. We just take a little bit of time. We have plenty of time right now. The store's closed, so we're going to investigate until we get everything complete.
Do you know how long?
Agencies here with y'all?
There are several outside agencies, but they're assisting with traffic. Virginia State Police is here, and I think I saw a Virginia Beach police car helping with just traffic control.
Do you know roughly how long it was between when the first officer arrived on the scene and when the tactical entrance was made?
I do not know that. Well, when the first officer arrived, they went in immediately. But I don't know when they started. I don't.
Leo, last time we talked, you said they were methodically clearing the store, department by department. They were still looking for possible fatalities and other victims as well. Tell us an update on that.
I believe that's still going on right now. As big a store as this is, there could be a lot of hiding places. If somebody was in there, they heard something, got scared, ran and hid. We're still kind of in the searching aspect of going through the store just to locate other potential victims or just people in hiding.
Did it seem like the shooter was shooting randomly, targeted?
I do not know. Okay. I can't say.
Do you know whether or not the shooting was appeared to be contained to one part of the store at this point?
I do not know.
When can we expect to get an update on how many
I don't know. I'm hoping sometime tomorrow, looking into that. It's still, like I said, we're just a couple hours past the initial incident, so it's very fluid, very new right now.
Right now, the next steps for your officers are what it was before.
Correct. We're still, yep. Still clearing until we're confident the entire building is clear and safe and secure, and then the criminal investigation part starts, and that could take days.
Obviously, we've seen mass shootings in our area before. Is there a comparison to what your officers are working this scene to others?
I couldn't make a comparison. I'm sorry.
How are you all feeling right now? Because gun violence, of course, mass shootings have been reported on nationally. And of course, Hampton Roads was no stranger to what happened 4 years ago in Virginia Beach. What do you make of just what's been going on?
It's sad. We're a couple days before the Thanksgiving holiday. Anytime that's sad, it's just a bad time all around. It's just for everybody involved. Especially the victims. This is horrible.
Have all shoppers been cleared out of the store?
Yeah, any shoppers, witnesses, they're all contained. Will be interviewed by police. So, I can do 2 more questions. Anybody? Anything else? Okay, good. All right, I don't know when we'll do another update. Maybe the next couple hours or so. I don't really anticipate a whole lot more coming out in the overnight hours. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get something together and kind of go from there. So, all right.
Leo, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you. If you guys want to get your.
All right, that was Officer Leo Kaczynski, the public information officer for Chesapeake Police, and he talked about he wasn't sure if we'd have updates overnight. It's now 2:09 a.m. And I think we will have an update from them around 8 or 9 in the morning, but we are continuing to search for information on this horrible mass shooting at the Walmart Supercenter in Chesapeake off of North Battlefield Boulevard.
A lot of the questions that were asked, he said he did not know, he did not know. And in these situations, that's probably the right answer, rather not the risk of getting the wrong information out. We'll look for that update in the morning. As we mentioned before, 5 patients have been transported to Norfolk General, the level 1 trauma hospital. And am I correct that Emily Harrison has arrived on the scene and she is there to give us a sense of what's going on there? Emily.
Well, David, Nicole, we just arrived here a few moments ago, and already we can tell that this is a very emotional scene that we are coming across. Already, I've seen one man exit the hospital behind me screaming, crying, obviously in the process of grief as they are coming to understand this terrible tragedy that has unfolded. I'm going to step out of the way so that you can take a closer look at what we are seeing over here. This is going to be at Centera Emergency Center that's going to be over here. This is going to be a Level 1 Trauma Center, which is the highest or most comprehensive care center for trauma, capable of providing total care for every aspect of injury, from prevention all the way to rehabilitation. Now, David, like you mentioned, 5 patients are inside. You can see that there are a few people gathered outside, and they have that tent out there above with some of the plastic coverings. Altogether, it has been relatively quiet with only a few people entering and exiting, but again, like I mentioned earlier, there has been some aspects of clear grief as that one man did exit crying, screaming from the grief of what has transpired here tonight. We do know that 5 patients are inside, and again, I spoke to the spokesperson who said that they're going to be in constant contact with us and try and provide us any update that they can for them. We do not know the conditions yet for those 5 patients, but this is going to be something that we are going to be following very closely, as well as some of the stories out here that we're going to continue to follow. Live in Norfolk, I'm Emily Harrison, 13 News Now. I'm going to toss it back to you guys over in studio.
All right, Emily, thanks so much. Yeah, tough.
Trauma is real, grief is real, and it's not something that you can just, sail through. There's a lot of work to be done here with these families. We don't know how many families are dealing with this, even those who have survived this shooting. Whatever recovery they have to go through, that creates trauma.
Yeah, it'll take a while. We want to remind you that we'll continue to work this story through the night. Our newsroom is busy right now getting ready for daybreak. A new time to start daybreak, which will be 4 a.m., 30 minutes earlier than usual, as we continue to bring you the latest on this situation.
That's right, and hopefully we will get an update from police investigators sometime as the morning goes on. And this is just it's a horrible story. It's horrible. It's sad for us to report this to you, but we wanted to bring you the latest and be honest with you about what's going on. And I think we've had folks at the scene and, trying to give you updates as this unfolds.
Yeah, we will learn more, and as we learn more, we will certainly pass it on to you.
And we'll be here for you on air and online and all of our platforms. And again, Daybreak begins at 4 a.m., a new time starting 30 minutes earlier in just a couple of hours now.
Good night, everyone, and we'll continue to work it.